Hello, welcome to Rev Endurance Sports and another edition of What is in Our Stand today. Today we have a bike from a customer who I do a Tuesday morning shop ride. We leave from our store and then we join another group. We leave at around 8-ish and then we meet another group at 9 and he's part of that other group, that 9 o'clock group. And over the months we've been working on his two bikes and, well, here we go. We've got another one in our stand. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that one of the most common things I've seen as of late is a broken shifter cable. Brake cables are pretty sturdy, so it's rare that you ever see one of those break. But broken shifter cables. And then the customer says, oh, you know, it's been, I don't know, a couple of years, in this case 3 years since his last overhaul. And so one of the things I promote is preventative maintenance. In other words, okay, if you ride a lot, and especially the rear derailleur cable, you're going to be shifting a lot and there's a lot of wear and tear on that cable, and it's better to do the overhaul on a planned basis. Now, I generally say about once a year, but it just depends on how much you ride and the conditions in which you ride. But if you do that about once a year, possibly twice a year, if you're upwards of 10,000 miles a year, then you can avoid things like what happened to this gentleman. So he's out on a ride, beautiful day in San Diego, which doesn't usually say much, but lately we've had a lot of rain. And he's out on the road, snaps his front derailleur cable, and now he's got to cut his ride short. Now, luckily, as we'll see here, the good thing is that if you break a front derailleur cable, well, you're only missing out on your big and small chain rings, whereas you still have 11 gears in the back to kind of get yourself home. All right. And what I was saying before about the beautiful sunny day is that, well, lately we've had a lot of rain in Southern California, in San Diego area. So a beautiful day has not, is not overlooked anymore. It's beautiful and sunny. So we need to get out and ride. And so the bike is in here today, and there's going to be rain over the next couple of days. So perfect time, but it would have been better if it would have been a planned job. All right, so this particular bike has a really nice setup. It's a Dura-Ace 9000 group. So you've got crankset, derailleurs and everything, and even the brakes. Now this is a Fuji, and sometimes with some brands, they will tell you it's a Dura-Ace equipped bike, and maybe they won't have the Shimano Dura-Ace crankset. They may have a FSA crankset or some other type of aftermarket brand, which is good, but Shimano ramps and pins on their chain rings and their chains are designed to work optimally together. So when Shimano creates a drivetrain, they create it as a system, not just individual parts. And then sometimes they'll knock off on the brakes as well. So it's nice to see that this bike is a full Dura-Ace equipped bike. And I mention that because the last time that this bike was serviced, they didn't use the appropriate cables, from what I can tell. And also on the housing, it's very important to use the Shimano Dura-Ace level cables, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to replace with the Dura-Ace cables, and apologize for that not focusing right away. There's the brake cables, and they're polymer coated. So, and then the housing is also very, very nice. So nice stiff housing, very, very little friction in this system when it's cabled, and when it's cabled properly, and the housing is the proper type as well. So we use genuine Shimano parts here, and we are going to replace the cables and housing. We're going to try to save the bar tape It looks in pretty good shape, and we're going to try to save that. Sometimes the glue on the bar tape on the underneath the adhesive sometimes will rip the bar tape, so we'll try to be very, very careful with that. And because this is a drivetrain and brake cable service, one of the things I'm going to do for the customer, because I think he's a good customer and I like him, is I'm also going to clean his chain and his cassette, just so that the when I give back the bike, the reveal, as you will, as it were, when the customer comes in and says, "Wow!" And of course, that's what we're looking for. The chain's in good shape, so it's worth cleaning, and so is the cassette. I've already inspected the peaks and valleys on especially the climbing gears, which usually get the most torque. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't hesitate to leave a comment, make a suggestion, and I am a one-man shop, so there is sometimes a little bit of delay me getting back to the comments posted, but I try to do my best as long as I get notifications on my email. Okay, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you on the road.